The boarding doors close. The plane hums as passengers settle in. But instead of calm, whispers ripple across the cabin. 2 seats in first class remain empty, seats that belong to a black couple who just stepped forward with their boarding passes. The flight attendant's smile falters. Her voice sharpens. "I'm sorry, sir, ma'am, there must be a mistake. First class is full." The husband and wife exchange confused looks, holding tickets clearly marked first class. They'd paid for comfort, for respect, for the same service as anyone else. But instead, they were told they didn't belong. Passengers glance around awkwardly. The couple insists, calmly, firmly, that these are their seats. But the crew doubles down. "You'll have to move to economy." It's humiliating. It's degrading. And worst of all, it's deliberate. What the crew doesn't realize, though, is who they are trying to humiliate. This couple is not only wealthy, not only influential, but connected in ways that could change the entire future of the airline itself. By the time this flight lands, the truth will come out. And the very people who thought they had the power to push them aside will realize they've made the biggest mistake of their careers. Stay with me, because this isn't just about a couple being denied seats. It's about arrogance, prejudice, and a shocking reveal that no one on that plane saw coming. It begins on a Friday afternoon at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. Marcus and Angela Robinson, a well-dressed black couple in their late 40s, approach the first-class boarding line. Marcus is in a tailored navy suit, Angela in a chic cream blazer. They've just returned from a week-long charity event where they were keynote speakers. The couple is successful, polished, and respected. But to the crew at Gate C-27, they're met with skepticism the moment they hand over their tickets. The attendant scans them, hesitates, then says, "Sir, ma'am, these are first-class tickets. Are you sure you're in the right line?" Marcus raises an eyebrow. "That's what it says on the ticket, isn't it?" The attendant forces a smile, but the doubt in her tone lingers. Passengers behind them shift impatiently. The Robinsons ignore the slight. They're used to the subtle digs, but they're determined not to let it ruin their trip. They board the plane and settle into seats 2A and 2B. The cabin is nearly full. But before they can relax, a flight attendant approaches, her expression tight. "Excuse me, sir, ma'am, you'll need to move. These seats are reserved." Angela frowns. "Reserved? We paid for these." The attendant glances at their tickets again, then shakes her head. "It must be a system error. You'll need to relocate to economy." A murmur spreads. Passengers glance up, sensing the tension. Marcus remains calm, but his voice hardens. "We're not moving. These are our seats. If there's an error, it's on your system, not us." The attendant stiffens. "If you don't comply, we may need to remove you from the flight." Angela leans in, her voice icy but controlled. "You're asking us to leave first class because, why? Because we don't look like we belong here?" The silence is deafening. A businessman nearby pulls out his phone. A young woman whispers, "This is wrong." The captain is called. The crew gathers. And soon, the Robinsons find themselves surrounded, not with respect, but with suspicion. By the time the plane begins taxiing, Marcus and Angela are still standing their ground. But what the crew doesn't know is that the couple's true identities will soon turn this confrontation into a disaster for the airline. As the plane cruises at 30,000 feet, the tension only escalates. The attendants whisper in the galley. Some passengers watch silently, others film discreetly. Finally, Marcus decides enough is enough. He pulls out his phone and makes a call, not to customer service, but to someone with far greater reach. "Connect me to James Harlow," he says firmly. Within minutes, he's on a secure line with the airline's chairman of the board. "Marcus, what's wrong?" Harlow asks, his voice serious. Marcus doesn't sugarcoat it. "Your crew just tried to throw my wife and me out of first class. They said we didn't belong. We have tickets. We have receipts. And half the cabin saw it." Silence on the other end. Then a sharp intake of breath. "Marcus, I'll take care of this immediately." "The truth?" Marcus Robinson isn't just a wealthy businessman. He's a silent partner in the very airline he's flying on. His company provides key software that powers their booking system. Without him, their infrastructure collapses. Back on the plane, word spreads quickly. The captain receives a direct order from headquarters: do not touch the Robinsons. Cooperate fully. Await further instructions upon landing. The attendants, still unaware of who they're dealing with, bristle. Why are they being treated differently? One whispers. Because in a matter of hours, their entire world will change. When the plane lands, a team of executives is waiting at the gate. Cameras flash. Reporters swarm. Passengers spill out with stories of what they witnessed. And then comes the bombshell. Marcus and Angela reveal their identities publicly. Not only are they multimillionaire philanthropists, but Marcus sits on the advisory board that directly oversees the airline's largest contracts. The fallout is immediate. The crew involved are suspended pending investigation. The airline issues a public apology. But it's too late. The videos have gone viral. Headlines roar across the country. Airline crew accuses black couple of not belonging in first class. They tried to humiliate them, then learned who they really were. Powerful backlash rocks major airline after viral incident. The Robinsons, however, don't just seek revenge. They use the moment to launch a campaign. Flying while black, end the bias. Their foundation pushes for stricter anti-discrimination training in the aviation industry, sparking a national conversation. The airline, desperate to salvage its reputation, pledges millions toward diversity reforms. But the damage to their name lingers for years. And it all began with one arrogant assumption: that Marcus and Angela didn't belong in first class. So, what's the lesson here? This wasn't just about two people being denied seats they paid for. It was about the quiet, corrosive belief that success has a color, and that some people don't belong, no matter how hard they've worked. The crew thought they could push Marcus and Angela aside without consequence. But prejudice always underestimates its target. And in this case, their victims turned out to hold more power than anyone realized. But here's the truth: you shouldn't have to be wealthy or powerful to be treated with dignity. Every passenger, every person, deserves respect. And when racism rears its head, silence is not an option. If you had been on that plane, what would you have done? Would you have looked away, or spoken up? Because every voice matters. Every act of resistance chips away at injustice. If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Share it. Discuss it. And subscribe to this channel for more powerful stories that shine a light on racism, courage, and resilience. Because sometimes, the people you underestimate are the very ones who will change everything.